What's up, Leafs fans? Welcome back to Leafs Digest. Now, last night, we saw a pretty scary situation go down with Auston Matthews that was almost somewhat reminiscent of the John Tavares injury that he suffered in last year's playoffs when he took an inadvertent knee to the head from Corey Perry, giving him a concussion, struggling with some knee issues after the fact. This wasn't the exact same play, but relatively close, and it definitely gave Leafs fans the same impression walking away from that type of hit as what it gave us when we saw John Tavares go down. An inadvertent knee to the head could cause concussion problems, head problems, neck problems moving forward, and there was a lot of injury concern about Matthews, his long-term stability, if he was going to be able to bounce back, what the severity of this injury was. And as I said last night on the live show after the game, I would be coming on here to break down any updated injury news that we got regarding the situation, so here I am. But before I get into the injury news, I want to remind everybody we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Josh and I have promised that he got on board. If we hit 2,000 subscribers before the playoffs, both of the boys will go mullets for the playoffs here. So I don't know if that's incentive enough for you guys, but if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so right now, as well as liking and commenting on these videos. We greatly appreciate the support, so thank you guys so much. But if you want to see the boys with some playoff mullets, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 2K. And as far as the injury news on Matthews goes, it's not crazy significant in any sort of way here, but it is a positive sign. As reported by David Alter today, he said that Sheldon Keefe says that Auston Matthews came in today feeling good. He felt pretty good showing up at the rink. It was a scheduled off day for him. He comes into the rink anyways to be checked on, and he feels pretty good. Keefe says it's a really good sign. As far as his status in terms of practicing tomorrow, we'll see how he comes in then, but today was a very good day. Now, this is a good sign that he came in feeling good today. I guess the part of the problem, or where this comes, is head injuries in a lot of guys. Sometimes they don't kick in right away. Maybe he's also downplaying how he feels in order to be able to get back into the lineup. He is chasing the Rocket here. We don't necessarily know. Things will start to pan out over the next couple of days to be able to determine how he truly is feeling, but this is definitely a good sign for today in that he came into the arena, he came into the practice facility, he met with the coaches, the trainers, saw his teammates, and he was feeling pretty good. Now, another thing that Keefe added on here was that there was a pretty good sense by the time he left last night that it wasn't necessarily going to be a head injury, but with the nature of the hit that he took, you're going to continue to be cautious and make sure he's feeling good before he gets back on the ice. Now, what this kind of leads me to believe is that, especially based on the way that he was hit, it could have actually led to maybe a neck strain where he got hit in the back of the head. It leads to whiplash. I'm no doctor, but if you're sitting here saying they didn't think it was going to be an actual head injury or concussion, there's other things tied into that area specifically. The way that he took the hit, the knee to the back of the head, whips his head forward, potentially pulling neck muscles, straining shoulders, back, all that kind of stuff. Maybe it isn't a concussion. Maybe we're clear of the head injury. Knock on wood. We hope he's going to be okay from that aspect, because the head injury, as everyone knows, can have long-term effects on a player, on a person. Just in general, how they affect you, it can be a little bit of a scary thing. So for them to sit there and say, we don't think it's a head injury, and he came in feeling pretty good today, maybe that leads us to believe neck, back, shoulders, whatever, but hopefully less severe than the head. Where this now leads to, and questions that Leafs fans will start to ask, and I've been asking myself, I've been thinking about this, and I have my own answer for it. How should we handle Auston Matthews moving forward over the next week, over the rest of the regular season here, in order to make sure that this team can perform and have him at his highest level coming into the playoffs here? So I guess the basic question to ask would be, should we be sitting Auston Matthews or sitting him out for precautionary reasons? Maybe a load management situation over the next little while to make sure he's at 100%. My answer to this is yes. It's not a full-blown Kawhi Leonard, let's load manage, you're going to take games off, take games here, to whatever. But if Auston Matthews ever comes in feeling the slightest bit below 100% for the rest of this regular season, give him the option of the time off. That would be a little bit of a later on strategy in the next, after this week, after these next 2 weeks, where you give him the option. But I think leaving that open to him, giving him the opportunity to say, okay, yeah, we're played a couple back-to-backs here. We've played 3 and 6 days. I'm going to sit out this practice day. I'm going to sit out this game. Whatever it is that him and the medical staff come to here, we need him at 100% in the playoffs. When you get to the playoffs, if you're below 100%, you continue to perform. You go out there every night. But he's not a guy that we want to risk deteriorating his status before even getting to the playoffs. We don't want to risk putting him in a position in the playoffs where he starts the playoffs at 85%, even 90%. We don't want to risk starting him there. If he deteriorates from there into the playoffs, but he started at 100% and he goes down, we can live with it. 90% of Auston Matthews is better than 0%, but during the regular season here, is it the most necessary to have him in the lineup every single night? My personal answer is no. Now, where do we go for the short-term solution on this? I think that you see how he's feeling tomorrow when he shows up, diagnose the issue further. What is the problem? Is this severe? Is it going to cause more problems moving forward? If he is 95%, if he is 99% tomorrow, you plan to sit him for Thursday's game. He didn't have the break that everyone else had when they went away from All-Star game. They didn't go on the ice. He still, it's not rigorous going to the All-Star game, but he still doesn't have that break that everyone else had. He did go on the ice. He did play in the All-Star game on the Saturday. He gets right back into it Monday. He manages to score 2 goals, and he actually even practiced on the Sunday before after coming from Vegas. But you look at all these factors, the rest, whatever. If he needs to sit Thursday's game, you sit him Thursday's game and let him get back to 100% for Saturday. It's not like it's another week off between Thursday's game and the next game that they play. He is back on the ice on Saturday, and over their next stretch, over the next month, they're going to have a lot of games compacted into a short period of time. So I personally believe the best solution for the short term for Auston Matthews is to give him some rest for this Thursday's game against the Calgary Flames. Now, mind you, that can completely change if he shows up tomorrow is 100%. Everything's all good, no problems at all, nothing regressing. His head is fine, his neck, his back, shoulders, they're all fine. If he says he's at 100%, then you move into the long-term strategy that I propose where you offer him the opportunity to take nights off. Now, what you're going to have to keep in mind here is that Auston Matthews is chasing the Rocket Richard. He'd like to win it in back-to-back years here. This is definitely a guy who would love to live up to the goal-scoring reputation that he set for himself, and he is on pace for a significant number of goals as he was last year. He would undoubtedly like to reach that and potentially hit the 50 or pass the 50-goal mark in this season, so you know he's going to want to be on the ice every night. But as a coaching staff, as management, and as a medical staff, they're going to have to evaluate it and go with him, work with him to determine whether or not he should be in the lineup. So my immediate short-term plan would be to plan to sit him out on Thursday night against the Flames. If he comes in tomorrow, he feels 100%. You let him decide where he's at. If he would like the break, give him the break. This is when it becomes the long-term plan of the discussion. If he can move past the short-term and say, I want to be in this lineup, then you give him the discretion. Leafs fans, this is just my opinion. As far as we know, Auston Matthews feels okay. He feels better today. There was no significant damage, no significant injury taking place, so that is good news in of itself. And the fact that they're saying they didn't immediately think head injury when they're the ones in communication with him is also a good sign, because it would also probably indicate that he didn't feel a head injury in that moment. Maybe he was feeling the neck strain, the shoulder strain, whatever. It was his back, whatever. But based on the comments today, it is a good sign of where Auston Matthews is at. That is the best news that I can give you about the Auston Matthews injury update. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this update. If you're looking for more Leafs content, you can always come back to this channel. We will be updating things as much as we can, giving our opinions, our breakdowns, everything like that. Any trade rumors, news rumors, it'll all be here on this channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And remember, we're on the road to 2,000. So every subscriber we greatly appreciate. We're almost there, and we're going to go mullets for playoffs if we hit it. So thank you guys so much for your support. Leafs fans, let me know in the comments below what you think about the Auston Matthews injury, if he should be playing tomorrow, and how the team should handle things going forward. But we will see you guys very, very soon. Leafs fans, things look up. Things look good. The team is rolling. Mitch Marner continues to score goals. So does Auston Matthews, and he feels good today, so that is a good sign. Leafs fans, keep believing.